Module 2, Inclusive Education Strategies. Learning disabilities, often hidden beneath the surface of observable behavior, can significantly impact a student's academic journey. These disabilities can range from difficulties in reading, writing, and math to challenges in processing information. For successful inclusion, it's essential to foster an environment where differences are not just accommodated, but celebrated. This involves understanding each student's unique learning profile and adapting instructional strategies accordingly. For instance, a child struggling with dyslexia might benefit from reading materials in a larger font and with more visual aids, or from using text-to-speech software. Students with emotional behavioral disorders present a unique challenge in inclusive settings. These disorders can manifest as anxiety, depression, or extreme behavior issues. The key to successful inclusion here is creating a supportive and predictable environment. Techniques such as positive behavioral interventions and supports can be effective. PBIS focuses on enhancing the overall school environment by encouraging positive behaviors and proactively addressing problematic ones. Consider a kid who fidgets and seems always on the move. This behavior is a classic example of hyperactivity, a facet often seen in students with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. ADHD is characterized by inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity. However, it's not just about kids being restless. It's about understanding how their brains are wired differently and require varied stimulation and engagement strategies. For successful inclusion, strategies such as breaking tasks into smaller, manageable parts, providing movement breaks, and employing tools like fidget spinners can be useful. Students with communication disorders may struggle with understanding or expressing language. Inclusion for these students means creating multiple channels of communication. Visual aids, sign language, and speech-to-text technologies are not just tools, but bridges that connect these students to the world of learning. To ensure that instructional activities and the learning environment are responsive to children with special learning needs, educators can employ a variety of strategies. These include differentiated instruction, which means tailoring teaching methods to meet the varied needs of students. For instance, group projects can be designed in a way that allows each child to contribute according to their strengths, whether that's in brainstorming, drawing, or presenting. Creating a classroom culture where curiosity and questions are encouraged can also significantly benefit students with special learning needs. Such an environment not only promotes learning, but also builds confidence and social skills. Delving into the factors associated with growing up in poverty, we find that they profoundly influence student performance. These factors range from limited access to educational resources to a lack of stable home environments. However, one powerful counteracting factor is the presence of enthusiastic teachers. When teachers are passionate and engaged, they can ignite a similar spark of excitement and commitment in their students, regardless of their backgrounds. Inclusive education, diverse learners. In the realm of special education, distinguishing between significant intellectual disabilities and multiple disabilities is crucial. Students with significant intellectual disabilities primarily face challenges in cognitive functioning and daily social skills. Conversely, those with multiple disabilities navigate a more complex array of concurrent impairments. Successful inclusion for these students hinges on creating highly personalized learning environments, underpinned by patience, understanding, and tailored educational strategies. Autism spectrum disorders present a unique set of characteristics in each individual, akin to various hues in a spectrum. These students may exhibit distinct challenges in social interaction, communication skills, and might have specific behavioral patterns. To effectively include students with ASD, educators should embrace strategies such as structured learning routines, use of visual aids, and creating a sensory-friendly classroom environment. This approach helps in addressing their unique learning styles and social needs. Students with sensory impairments experience the world through altered auditory or visual perceptions. For those with hearing impairments, the classroom environment might need adjustments in sound amplification or the use of sign language. Similarly, students with visual impairments may benefit from Braille materials, tactile learning tools, and enhanced lighting. Creating an inclusive environment for these students involves making the curriculum accessible through multi-sensory teaching methods and adaptive technologies. Physical disabilities and health impairments can range from mobility challenges to chronic health conditions that affect a student's endurance and attendance. Inclusion in this context means adapting the physical classroom layout, providing assistive technology, and possibly adjusting the curriculum to accommodate these students' needs. It's about creating a learning environment where physical or health barriers do not hinder academic and social participation. Students with traumatic brain injury may face diverse and fluctuating challenges in their cognitive, physical, and emotional functioning. Their path to learning can often require continual adjustments and accommodations. Effective inclusion for these students involves a flexible and individualized approach to education, with ongoing support and understanding from educators. Teachers should be prepared to modify teaching strategies and classroom environments in response to the changing needs of students with traumatic brain. In an inclusive classroom, recognizing and nurturing the diverse talents and abilities of each student is essential. This involves understanding that each student, regardless of their disability, brings a unique perspective and set of skills to the learning environment. Teachers should strive to identify and encourage these individual strengths, creating a classroom culture that values diversity and promotes the growth of all students. By doing so, educators can help each student reach their full potential, both academically and personally. Inclusive education for diversity. Envision a classroom not as a uniform entity, but as a dynamic mosaic, where each tile embodies a student's unique cultural, linguistic, and ability background. This analogy aptly captures the transforming demographics in education. The increasing prevalence of students who are bilingual or multilingual, coupled with a wide array of cultural heritages and a spectrum of abilities including gifted and talented learners, is profoundly altering the traditional educational landscape. This shift transcends mere statistics. It demands a fundamental reevaluation of educational practices. In this context, inclusive education resembles the role of a maestro leading an international orchestra. Each musician's distinct style and background contribute to the symphony's richness. Successful inclusive education for students from diverse cultural and linguistic backgrounds hinges on several core principles. Firstly, it requires acknowledging and valuing diversity as an asset rather than a hurdle. It entails fostering an educational environment where differences are not just tolerated but celebrated, and every student feels included and valued. Teachers in this inclusive setting take on roles akin to cultural anthropologists. Their task is to delve into the cultural backgrounds of their students, not merely for the sake of knowledge, but to tailor their teaching approaches to suit varied learning styles and perspectives. Imagine a classroom where a teacher integrates stories and examples from different cultures into their lessons, or employs teaching methods that resonate with the diverse learning preferences present. Employing culturally relevant pedagogy in this scenario is crucial. It's akin to seasoning a meal perfectly. It enhances the educational experience and makes it more meaningful for the students. This method involves using teaching materials and strategies that reflect the cultural contexts of the students. The goal is to create a learning environment where students see reflections of their own cultures and feel a deep sense of belonging. Addressing the needs of gifted and talented students within this framework presents unique challenges. The objective is to provide intellectually stimulating and challenging opportunities while ensuring these students remain an integral part of the diverse classroom community. This involves recognizing their distinct needs and offering tailored instruction that engages them at their level. Implementing these inclusive education principles can seem like an intricate juggling act. The key lies in employing effective instructional practices. This encompasses explicit instruction, where concepts are taught in a clear, structured manner, and peer-assisted learning strategies that allow students to benefit from the varied perspectives and skills in their classroom. The teacher's role in this diverse educational milieu extends beyond simply imparting knowledge. Teachers act as facilitators of learning, adept at modifying their teaching strategies to meet the varied needs of their students. Picture a gardener tending to a diverse garden where each plant requires specific care. Sunlight for some, shade for others, more water here, less there, ensuring each one thrives. When presenting new content to learners with exceptional needs, teachers must be both innovative and adaptive. They should consider implementing frameworks like multi-tiered system of supports, which include strategies such as response to intervention and positive behavioral interventions and supports. These approaches offer a structured method for delivering evidence-based instruction and interventions tailored to individual student needs. Through this lens, we see that embracing and effectively addressing the needs of a diverse student population requires a multifaceted, empathetic, and adaptive approach. Teachers, like skilled gardeners or maestros, must fine-tune their practices to ensure each student, irrespective of their background or abilities, finds a nurturing and stimulating environment in which to learn and grow.